let's answer a question from the comments section. Now, I just got done recording a video and I was just going to type out my answer because that's usually how I do it, but I started to think my answer was going to go beyond 1 to 2 paragraphs into, like, you know, an entire chapter. So I thought, you know, maybe I'll just make a video. So Edward Shields 2777 says, really love your videos, trying to decide between the DXR12 Mark II and the ART-912. For events and rental, Yamaha has Neo Celestion driver versus RCF's ferrite composite driver. 3 versus 7-year transferable warranty. Do you have any thoughts about the sound difference, electronics, or experience with both companies? Thanks. So, over the lifespan of being, you know, in the audio business, owning my own DJ/production company, I mean, I started out with Behringer speakers, then I went to JBL, then I went to Electro Voice. I think after that I started dabbling in QSC. I bought a lot of DAS audio. I've owned a lot of Yamaha. I've bought RCF. I've bought Mkii, EAW. It's all I can think of off the top of my head, but I have dabbled my way through many different brands, and I feel like when you do that, you kind of, you know, you slowly find what you like, and there's reasons why you stop buying this brand, you know, there's reasons why you gravitate towards this brand. And in general, currently my inventory is very heavily Yamaha with a splash of Electro Voice, and, you know, a little Mkii here and there. Not necessarily speakers, but I like Mkii mixers. I think Mkii makes some good products. Be interesting to see where that goes since Rode just bought them. But anyways, you know, I've bought different brands, and, you know, I've sold different speakers for different reasons, and I've bought different speakers for different reasons. Some I keep, some I sell right away. And in general, I mean, right now I've got 4 of the Yamaha Stage Pass 600 BTs. I own a pair of each of the DXR10 Mark II, 12 Mark II, 15 Mark II. I've got 2 of the Stage Pass 1Ks, 2 of the Stage Pass 1K Mark IIs. I own the Stage Pass 200 BTR. In the past, I've owned the DZR315, the DXS18 XLF. I had 4 of those. I think I owned either like 6 or 8 of the DXS12 Mark IIs. So I've owned a lot of Yamaha stuff. Some stuff I've rolled over and sold for various reasons. Some I've kept, but I've always just kind of, I've slowly gravitated more and more to the Yamaha brand. So my answer is probably going to be a little biased because I've tended to like the Yamaha stuff that I've bought, and so I've continued to buy more. Now, I have bought RCF stuff in the past as well. I own the JMix 8 J8 combo. You know, 1 of each. I owned the RCF Evox 12. I owned a pair of those. I owned the RCF Sub 905 Mark II. I also owned the RCF M20X digital mixer. And the one thing I've found with RCF is, you know, I'll buy a product like the J8, JMix 8. You know, sometimes I wish I would have kept that because it was so small and compact, but every time I'd take it out, I'd tend to have some feedback issues with it, and I just overall didn't really like it. I didn't really like the built-in mixer. The sound was okay. You know, for a column array, it was okay. You know, the Evox 12, I owned it and sold it. I thought for the size and weight, it just didn't really put out enough. The subs didn't hit low enough for 15s. It was okay, but it became kind of a big clunky system to bring where I'd just kind of rather have a point source system with me instead. And for the price, I mean, I think I paid $3,800 for it. yeah, maybe closer to 4,000, but I ended up getting $400 back from my distributor because they came damaged. Grills were dented in, paint was scraped, just a little bit more beat up in shipping. I don't think RCF sometimes does the best in packaging their stuff before they ship it, especially once they hand it over to UPS and UPS chucks it all over the place. You know, the RCF digital mixer, I just happened to look that up. And the current price for it on Guitar Center is $21.99. And I mean, for that price, there's no scribble strips. It's just not a good mixer. I mean, I would much rather have a Behringer X32 Compact, you know, and I don't know what an X32 Compact goes for off the top of my head these days, but, you know, I bought and sold that RCF mixer pretty fast. I just was not a fan of it. And I think RCF and their foray into mixers, I think they'd bought a mixer company, so I think that's how they got mixers into their lineup. But in general, my experience with RCF has been you pay a premium for the RCF name. You pay a premium for made in Italy or just designed in Italy. And every time I buy an RCF product, you know, like take the Sub 905 Mark II. I think so on the Mark III is out now and MAP on that is $19.99. So it's a $2,000 15-inch subwoofer. When I bought mine, I think MAP was $18.99. And when you're spending $1,900 on a 15-inch sub, you know, your expectations are kind of up here because you're like, man, I'm paying double, like twice what I could, because at the same time, I could buy an Electro Voice EKX 15 SP for $899. So I'm paying $1,000 more for this RCF Sub 905 Mark II. So your expectations are up here, right? And then you get it, you plug it in and you use it and you're like, well, it sounds good. But it just kind of sounds like a 15-inch sub. You know, there's nothing earth-shattering about it. It's a 15-inch sub. Sounds good for a 15-inch sub, but does it sound $1,000 better for a 15-inch sub? And I'm going to say no. I ended up selling it. I think I sold that for a loss. I was like, this sub is so expensive, I just rather get my money, as much of my money back out of it as I can, and just redeploy it into something where I can buy two of something for my rental business and have it just be used more and sound better. You know, you could buy two of those Electro Voice subs for the same price as one RCF, and I think in the end you'd be happier with the two Electro Voice subs. Now, when it comes to RCF, I hadn't had any failures or issues with components or anything. You know, my main gripe was the price point's usually higher, and the sound, you know, and I say so, sound's pretty subjective. I know people that love RCF. They also pay a lot for it, and they haven't tried a bunch of other things. So they're, you know, they're a little biased in the fact that they haven't dabbled in a lot of other brands. I've dabbled in a lot of other brands, and RCF just really isn't on the top of my list. I always have this like, RCF, God, that looks good. And then I get it, and I'm like, oh, man, I could have just bought a JBL. You know, and I'm not saying like, you know, RCF's probably above JBL as far as like quality goes. I'm not a huge JBL fan, but I'm just never as impressed. I feel like the price point sets your expectation high, and it just always comes in as like, it's a good sounding 15-inch speaker, but it's a 15-inch speaker. Whereas in general, I think Yamaha prices their stuff where you get a really good speaker for the amount of money you pay for it. Now, I know the ART-912 is, I think, roughly the same price as a DXR, so I assume that's why you're comparing the two. I have never used an ART series speaker. I'm sure it sounds fine. My thoughts are just in general, I own the DXR series. and few speakers in the line. I have had no problems with them. I do think they sound great. I think in my video, I think you heard me talk about like a vibration I hear at certain frequencies. When a certain bass note hits, there's like a vibration in the back. You don't hear that in the front. It's something, I always feel like it's something in the amp that's doing it. I am not quite sure. But you never hear that out front, you know, so it's something my ears pick up because I'm always listening to things. Some people might not even notice it. I don't know. But it doesn't affect the sound quality. So when I do corporate events, my DXR series is the ones I bring out because I feel like they sound clean and clear. I think they're easy to EQ, and I think I wind up with a good sounding system, and I would continue to buy more of the DXR series. I think they're a good price to performance ratio. Like the DZR series I think is nice, but I don't know. I only owned the DZR315, so I didn't get to use, you know, I only used them when I was ground stacking things, obviously, so it was a bigger setup. They're nice speakers, but I'm happy with the price to performance ratio of the DXR model line. I just don't know. I've never used the ART series, and I can't really compare it to them. I would assume the ART-912 is going to be a made in China speaker, not a made in Italy speaker based on the price point, because if it was made in Italy, I feel like the price would be twice as expensive. So I don't know. I can't really comment on, you know, RCF's made in China quality or wherever they have it made. I assume it's China. I will say I do own 4 EAW subs currently, and RCF owns EAW, and once RCF bought EAW, they came out with this RS line, so they're the RS115 subwoofer. And I feel like this is a very RCF product line because they make an RCF RS123, I think the model is, and that uses a compression driver that's a 3-inch compression driver, which is very RCF-esque. I've actually thought about buying those tops and making an EAW system that's kind of, I hate to call it like the poor man's RCF system, because you're getting an EAW speaker with a 3-inch compression driver at a way lower price than you'd buy the comparable RCF. But, you know, EAW has been known to use RCF components. These are obviously made in China. But one thing I will say is I bought 4 of the subs, and within a year, the amp died on one of the subs. So I'm not usually a big fan of something when I start to get like, you know, I bought 4 of something, 1 died. Now I've got a 25% failure rate on EAW stuff, which EAW is owned by RCF, and that EAW stuff is made in China, which I'm going to assume is probably made in the same factory that a lot of this Chinese RCF stuff is made. I keep saying Chinese, but wherever they have it manufactured, that's not Italy. And people use manufacturing places all over the country. My Yamaha, I'm not knocking not made in Italy RCF stuff, because I buy Yamaha stuff. It ain't, you know, it's not made in Japan. Indonesia is where this is made. I think I have something else that was made in Malaysia. I will say though, I feel like Yamaha's had their manufacturing stuff, their global manufacturing process kind of honed over the years to where they turn out good product. I really haven't had much for issues with Yamaha stuff. You know, and I really haven't had much for issues with RCF stuff, aside from it coming more banged up than other brands when I get it in the mail. My experience more is with EAW failure, but EAW is owned by RCF these days, so, you know, take that however you will. But people buy what they tend to gravitate to, and sound is very subjective. You know, one person could listen to my Yamaha and not like it, but they might love an RCF and the sound of it. I tend to like the way my Yamahas sound, and I think the price point is good across the entire Yamaha product line. RCF, you know, well, the ART series is fine price, but if you really start going into RCF as like, this is the brand I have for my rentals and productions, you're gonna, if you expand your product line, you're gonna wind up spending a lot more money because you're gonna start paying for that RCF premium in different areas. And I think in general, I just don't think RCF is worth the price premium overall. But, you know, I would say if you have the opportunity to listen to the Yamaha and the RCF, take a listen to both and see what your preference is. Price points about the same. I personally, based on my experience with both brands, would veer towards Yamaha personally, but that could just be a personal bias. I'm sure there are a ton of people out there that love RCF and would buy the Art series over the Yamaha. But that's kind of my rambling thoughts about it. Let's see if I hit everything. So the warranty, I don't know. I take warranties, you know, I've had stuff warranty repaired before, 3 versus 7 year. I don't know if it matters. I sold a buddy a set of 2 DAS Audio Action 12A speakers, and they only have a 2-year warranty. They had an even shorter warranty than other models or other manufacturers. But those things have been kicking forever. So I don't care so much about what a manufacturer says the warranty is, whether it's 3 years, whether it's 7 years. I care more about, is the product going to die 4 times in that 7-year period? Am I going to get sick of sending this in? If the amp dies, are you going to let me take the amp out of it, or do I got to ship the whole speaker in and spend $100 on shipping? You know? So I'm not so concerned when it comes to warranty. I feel like it's more of a marketing thing, and even, I don't know, if you watch, I put an Allen and Heath video out there that was kind of a blast video on them because I was having so many issues trying to get warranty repair on a mixer. They kept saying, well, we test our stuff before it goes out. There couldn't be anything wrong with it. And I'm like, well, there is. Oh, no, we test everything before it goes out. There couldn't be anything wrong with it. We have quality control. Okay, well, there is something wrong with my mixer. And I kept going back and forth until I made a YouTube video about it and was like, look at this. The wireless connectivity is horrible. And then they're like, oh yeah, I guess there is something wrong with that. And then they replaced it. You know, so you can have a really good warranty in place, but if it doesn't get accepted for warranty, and I don't know what RCF's like, I don't know what Yamaha's like for accepting things for warranty, but you know, the warranty is only as good as the company that backs it. You know, you look at Behringer stuff lately, you know, when I first bought a Midas M32, the warranty was outstanding. I got it, and some of my faders were like bent in. I don't know what happened, but they paid for 1-day shipping to Las Vegas, guaranteed a 24-hour turnaround with 1-day shipping back to me. I had it shipped off, fixed, sent back to me within days, not weeks, days. And that was the best warranty service I had ever seen, and I couldn't imagine what they paid to have 1-day shipping to Las Vegas, 1-day shipping back, and that insane of a turnaround. But they were really, this was when they had first bought Midas, the M32 came out, and they were really trying to push it and show everybody, like, we can make a good product. You know, even though we're owned by Behringer. Music Tribe now, I guess, you know, but essentially it's a Behringer product at this point. But now you look at people that have problems with their Behringer wing or anything Midas, and they're like, oh, we don't got any parts. No, we don't got any parts. Yeah, gosh, there's a part shortage. We just don't have any parts. It's weird. We can continue to keep making the mixer and keep selling it, but we don't have any parts to fix it because we're just using all our parts to make new ones and sell it because we don't make any money on warranty repair. So Music Tribe's kind of become horrible when at one point I thought they were the greatest thing since sliced bread in the warranty, you know, arena. Like, I mean, they fixed it like that and got it back to me, and it was back in service in the venue before the weekend. But now they're horrible when it comes to warranty. They just don't give two shits because they're like, oh, we sell enough product, who cares? And, you know, you look at Allen and Heath, I ran in circles with them for weeks, and they were, you know, around the world, and I am like trying to get this warranty service, but they don't answer till the next day because, you know, it's nighttime when it's daytime over here, and it kind of becomes an annoyance dealing with people across the world. So anyways, warranty-wise, I don't know. I don't look at how long a warranty is because it's only as good as the company that backs it, and whether or not they give you the runaround, whether or not they give you parts, whether or not it's going to sit in their repair facility for 6 months while you wait for, you know, a part to come in. You know, so I don't know. I'd rather just have a solid product to begin with. So that's why I tend to veer away. If I start to have issues with products, I just kind of tend to veer away from that brand. Like I'm probably not going to go all into the RC or the EAW RS product line now that I've had an amp fail within a year. Like I said, sound difference, sounds is subjective. Electronics, you know, I mean, one plus about, I mean, the ART series has been around forever, so they're just slowly improving that. You know, DXR series is on the Mark II, so they've, you know, made that sound better and in general be a better speaker. Experience with both companies. I've never done any warranty repair or anything with RCF, so, you know, really I'm just kind of spitballing different things with that. I've never done any warranty repair with Yamaha. But in general, I just kind of like Yamaha, you know. Yamaha owns a bunch of different brands. They own Nexo. You know, that's why the DZR speakers sound so good. You know, Nexo came in and helped them redesign them, or helped design them in the first place. I just kind of like Yamaha as a company, and I kind of like their products, and I feel like they work pretty good. Even though a lot of times with the Mark 1s, they come out with products that have issues, but then like the Yamaha Stage Pass 1K Mark II, they fix all the issues, and then it's like bam, the speaker's good. You know, same with the Yamaha Stage Pass 200 BTR. I'm throwing out some issues I have with it. I still like the speaker, but I guarantee when they come out with the Mark II, they're going to fix all the issues I'm complaining about, and it's going to be a better speaker in the end. You know, RCF, you know, it's not like you're trying to compare Behringer or Samson or something with Yamaha, or with, you know, you're comparing two brands that are pretty much on par with each other, and it kind of becomes personal preference. My personal preference just veers towards Yamaha. And I've been rambling for about 22 minutes, so I think I'll, this is why I did not type out my answer, because my answer just goes all over the place, because I wanted to talk about all the different brands I've owned, and the fact that you just veer towards the one that speaks to you. So anyways, keep the questions coming, keep watching the videos, and till next time, have a good day.